after you go. Hi, good day, and I'm going to discuss to you about the Unit 7, which is the learner-centered teaching in international perspectives. Learner-centered education, or LCE, is a traveling policy which has been endorsed in international agencies, local innovators, and even national governments. Promoters of this pedagogical tradition refer to theories and evidences from cognitive psychology claiming that all learners can benefit from it to improve processes and outcomes. Beyond the benefits to the individual, however, lies a set of assumptions about learner-centered education as a foundation for the building of democratic citizens and societies, and the development of a skilled population ready for the knowledge of economies in the near future.
There are two subtopics of this topic. First is the innovations on learner-centered teaching in the ASEAN region. Second is the best practices on learner-centered teaching in developed countries. Innovations of learner-centered teaching across ASEAN region. First, more curricular emphasis on learning to learn so students can develop the flexibility and adaptability to keep pace with dynamic labor market demands. Second, development of competencies through project-based activities, problem and theme-based integrated learning, experiential learning, and activities that involve group-based research, debate, discussions, and presentations. Last, the third one is the empower learning to conduct self-directed learning activities and teachers to abandon teaching to the test and mere transmission of information. ASEAN members' commitment in learner-centered teaching education system. First, the Singapore Ministry of Education caters the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels of education by enhancing the standards delivered to school faculties, curriculum, institutional settings, and even the educational notions. Second, the individual regions of the country are given great care to preserve the best education quality possible in every local sector. Modern classrooms at all levels of education, fully equipped with top-notch facilities and inspiring atmosphere. Third, Thailand is largely known for its expatriates and their family opting for invest their children education just as the government does. With a lot of private schools and bilingual schools, Thailand's government has endowed a sizable portion of their national budget to fortify the education from primary to secondary to tertiary levels of studies. Fourth, the Philippines did inherit some extent of social and cultural elements from the Americans and the Spanish. The integration of foreign attributes into the educational system is one of the factors that help shape their schools and universities. They will assure to produce the most outstanding students eligible for international scholarships and world-class recognitions. Fifth, Indonesia has developed a good record of education structure and components. The Indonesian education system encompasses over 50 million students, nearly 3 million teachers, and over 250 standard schools distributed. The best practices on learner-centered teaching in developed countries. First is the education is a priority in economic development. Second, curriculum focuses on teaching specific subjects and problem-solving skills. Third, manners before knowledge. Fourth, starting school at an older age. Last, and the fifth one, is less homework and outside work required. Best practice number one. Education is a priority in economic development. Post-independence from the British, Singapore has surpassed some of the wealthiest countries in Europe, Asia, and North America to be a world leader in education. This was possible because the state views education as an ecosystem, meaning that for the ecosystem to thrive, the school system should be at the forefront and vice versa. Thus, for a reform to be effective, the whole system from top to bottom must be reformed so that people can respond to the changes as well. For instance, the universal state-funded education system reform, which promotes the ideals of meritocracy, is among the main reasons behind the country's achievement of its development vision. Additionally, education reforms such as Thinking Schools, Learning Nation, which encourages creativity, innovation, and lifelong learning, has made it possible for the Singaporean system to be a world leader. Moreover, the school system is a continuously reformed to meet both local and international standards. The central aim of these changes is to shape the education scene to match the abilities and interests of the students, thus providing them with flexibility and variety. Best practice number two. Curriculum focuses on teaching specific subjects and problem-solving skills. Singapore's school system encourages project work and creative thinking. As a result, classes focus on equipping students with particular problem-solving skills and knowledge in specific subjects. The goal of the curriculum is to provide students with practical knowledge and skills that will help to solve challenges in the real world. Moreover, authorities in Singapore are more hands-on and are continually reassessing and improving the school system to promote student performance and wellness. For instance, sometime in 2017, students reported rising levels of stress and psychological issues resulting from academic rigor. In response, the education authorities stopped listing top scores in examinations to ease the pressure from students. Additionally, the country introduced a teach less, learn more strategy, which is inspired teachers to focus on quality rather than quantity of education. Best practice number three. Manners before knowledge. In Japanese schools, the students don't take any exams until they reach the age of 10. They just take small tests. It is believed that the goal for the first 3 years of school is not to judge the child's knowledge or learning, but to establish good manners and to develop their character. Children are taught to respect other people and to be gentle to animals and nature. They also learn how to be generous, compassionate, and empathetic. Besides this, pupils are taught qualities like grit, self-control, and justice. The recent Enrichment Week at Longdon focused on manners and etiquette, and the launch of the Ethical Leadership Program clearly reflect these virtues in Litchfield. Best practice number four. Starting school at an older age. Students start school when they are 7 years old. They're given free rein in the developing childhood years to not be trained to compulsory education. It's simply just a way to let a kid be a kid. There are only 9 years of compulsory school that Finnish children are required to attend. Everything past the ninth grade or at the age of 16 is optional. Just from a psychological standpoint, this is a freeing ideal. Although it may be anecdotal, many students really feel like they're stuck in a prison. Finland alleviates this forced ideal and instead opts to prepare its children for the real world. Best practice number 5. Less homework and outside work required. According to the OECD, students in Finland have the least amount of outside work and homework than any other student in the world. They spend only half an hour a night working on stuff from school. Finnish students also don't have tutors, yet they're outperforming cultures that have a toxic school-to-life balances without the unneeded of unnecessary stress. Finnish students are getting everything they need to get done in school without the added pressures that come with excelling at a subject. Without having to worry about grades and busy work, they are able to focus on the true task at hand, learning and growing as a human being.
We considered LCE or learner centered education as a global phenomenon. LCE in lower and middle income countries, and what a culturally and contextually sensitive approach to LCE might entail. It concludes with reflections on the value of international perspective. That ends our discussion about the Unit 7 Learner Centered Teaching in International Perspectives.